This video is in continuation to my previous video on arithmetic mean. In this video, we will discuss some properties of arithmetic mean. So the first property is effect of change of origin in scale. So if the value of the variable is increased by a constant k, then mean is also increased by the same constant k. That means we are changing the origin. If we have particular data, if we have the set of points x1, x2, x3, so on to xn, and we add a particular number, we change its origin, we add a particular number, we add, or either we can also subtract, we either add or subtract a particular constant k to all the numbers, then mean is also changed by adding or subtracting the same number to the old mean. So if x bar is mean of the this series, if x bar is mean of this series, it is given by summation xi divided by small n. So it says, this property says that if x bar is mean of this series, then the new series so obtained, new series is this one, x1 plus k, x2 plus k, x3 plus k. The mean of this series, the new mean, that is equal to the old mean plus the constant k. So this is the meaning of this first property. We will prove this property. So let's prove this property. So we just consider these values x1, we consider these points, these observation x1, x2, x3, so on to xn. So the mean, the old mean, that is given by summation I varying from 1 to n xi divided by n, sum of observation upon total number of observation. Now what I will do now, I am going to add a particular number to all these observations. So new observation are x1 plus k, x2 plus k, x3 plus k, and so on to xn plus k. xn plus k. So what is the mean now? X bar, the new mean, that is equal to sum of observations, sum of all these observation xi plus k divided by total number of observation, that is equal to n. So now separate the summation. This can be written as summation I varying from 1 to n xi plus summation I varying from 1 to n k divided by n. Divided by n here also, divided by n here also. Now this is, what is this? This is again mean from equation number 1. You can see equation number 1. This is again equal to x bar plus, what is this? This is k is independent of summation. This is k into 1. So k can be taken outside summation. So that means we are adding 1 n times. We are adding 1 n times. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus so on to 1 n times, this sum will be equal to n, right? So this is equal to x bar plus k into n divided by n. N and n get cancelled, so it's equal to x bar plus k. So this is how the mean gets affected if we change the origin. Okay, so you can either add a particular constant, you can either subtract a particular constant. So if you subtract k, if instead of adding you subtract a constant k from all these values, then how the mean will be affected? The new mean will be old mean minus k. The new mean, that will be equal to old mean minus k. So this is the first property. Next property, if the value of the variable is multiplied by the same constant k, then the mean is also multiplied by k. So it says that if we have the observation x1, x2, again I'm taking the same observation x1, x2, so on to xn. If I multiply all these numbers by a constant k, kx1, kx2, so on to kxn. So how the mean gets changed? Let's see it. let's see the new mean x bar, that will be equal to summation I varying from 1 to n k times xi, all the observation divided by total number of observation. Again, this k is constant, so it can be taken out of summation. Summation xi, I varying from 1 to n divided by n. And now what is this? This is again x bar, k times x bar. So the new mean, that is equal to k multiplied by the old mean. So this is how the mean get changed when we change the scale. This is the effect of change of scale. Even if we, instead of multiplying, even if we divide here all the numbers by a constant k, the new mean will be x bar, that will be 1 upon k times the old mean. If we divide all these xi, if we change xi to 1 upon k times xi, then how the mean will be affected? Mean will be 1 upon k times the old mean. The new mean, that will be equal to 1 upon k times the old mean. The next property, algebraic sum of deviations of a set of value from their arithmetic mean is always 0. Very important property. It's a very important property. So in this property, what we have to prove? We have to prove that if we take deviations, like if we have a frequency distribution x1, x2, x3, so on to xn, these are the points, and we have corresponding frequency f1, f2, f3, so on to fn. Okay, so we have to prove that some algebraic sum of deviations of a set of value from their arithmetic mean. So what will the deviations? These are the xi's, these are the fi's. How the deviations will be given by? Deviation will be given by di, deviations of a set of value from their arithmetic mean. So we have to take deviations from mean. So x1 minus x bar, x2 minus x bar, x3 minus x bar, and so on xn minus x bar. So these are the deviations from arithmetic mean. We have to prove that some of these deviations, sum of deviations will be given by summation fi di. We have to prove summation fi di, to prove summation fi di, that is equal to 0. We have to prove this thing. That is, we have to prove summation fi xi minus x bar, that is equal to 0. We have to prove this thing. So let's just let's just start from here only. Let's start from the left hand side of the equation only. So summation I varying from 1 to n fi xi minus x bar. We'll separate the summation on each term. So this is summation I varying from 1 to n fi xi minus summation I varying from 1 to n x bar into fi. Now x bar is independent of summation. It can be taken outside. X bar is independent of summation, so it can be taken outside. So this becomes summation I varying from 1 to n fi xi minus x bar summation fi I varying from 1 to n. Now, what is this? This is a very special thing. We know that mean is equal to summation fi xi divided by summation fi. So from here we get summation fi xi, that is equal to x bar into summation fi. Right? So this is, what is this? This is x bar into summation fi minus x bar into summation fi. Let me take I varying from 1 to n, I varying from 1 to n. So you can see these two terms are same, so they cancel out and it comes out to be 0. So we have proved we have taken the left hand side, which is the sum of deviation, and we have proved the sum of deviation, that is equal to 0. So this proves our second property. Then third property, the sum of squares of deviation of a set of value is minimum when taken about mean. So we have to prove that we'll take this function z. we have to prove that summation fi xi minus a square is minimum when a is equal to x bar. These are the deviation. This is the sum of squares of deviation. We have to prove that this sum is minimum when a is equal to x bar. So let's do it. We will apply the method of maxima and minima here. So to find out maximum minima, what do? We take the derivative of the function with the variable. So here variable is a. Variable is a. So we take the derivative of the function with the variable. So let's take the derivative. Let's take the partial derivative of the function z with respect to a. So that will be equal to 2 times summation fi xi minus a with the minus 1. Okay, so we will find out the point from here. So to find out point, we will put dz upon dA equal to 0. So when we put dz upon dA equal to 0, what we get? Minus 2 times summation fi xi minus a equal to 0. From here, we get summation fi xi minus a times summation fi, that is equal to 0, right? So this gives me summation fi xi divided by summation fi, that is equal to a. So from here we get the value of a is equal to x bar. So we get the value of a equal to x bar, but still we don't know that it's a maxima or minima. So we have to check the second derivative. So let's find out d2z upon dA square. So if it will be greater than 0, then it is then a is equal to x bar. If the second derivative is greater than 0, then a is equal to x bar is minimum minimum point, point of minima is minima, and if it's less than 0, then a is equal to x bar is point of maxima. So we have to find out the double derivative now. So what is dz upon dA? Let's write down dz upon dA. Dz upon dA is minus 2 times summation fi xi minus a. Let's find out the second derivative, d2z upon dA square. So that is equal to, now see, this thing is constant, minus 2 times summation fi xi is constant, and instead of when we do the derivative, when we do the derivative of minus a, it comes out to be minus 1. So this comes out to be 2 times summation fi. And what is summation fi? Summation fi is n, capital N, total number of observation, which is always greater than 0, right? So d2z, so curly square z upon curly a square, that is greater than 0. That means a is equal to x bar is point of minima, is point of minima. So this proves over this property that the sum of squares of deviation is minimum when taken about mean. Okay, so when we take a equal to x bar, this sum is minimum at that point. Now fourth property, if a is assumed mean and if di is equal to xi minus a are deviations of a from a, deviation of xi from a, then x bar is equal to a plus summation xi di divided by summation fi. This is the formula for calculating mean when we take deviations. Okay, so let's prove it. So what we are doing the deviations. We are changing our xi to xi minus a, and a is any value. A can be any number. A can be any number from these xi. We can take a to be any number. So let's prove this property. Let's see how we can do it. What we have here, we have here, di is equal to xi minus a. So what we will do, we will multiply both side with fi. We'll multiply both side with fi. Okay, let's first write down it as xi. Let's write down xi equal to di plus a first. Multiply by fi both side. Multiply by fi both side. So what we get? We get fi xi equal to fi di plus a times fi. Now take summation. Take summation both side. Take summation both sides from 1 to n. From 1 to n. So when you take the summation, you get summation fi xi I varying from 1 to n equal to summation fi di I varying from 1 to n, and a is independent of summation. I'll write it outside the summation, I varying from 1 to n. Now the last step is to divide the whole equation both side by summation fi, or you can say capital N. Okay, divide both sides by summation fi, I varying from 1 to n. So what we get? We get summation fi xi, I varying from 1 to n, divided by summation fi, I varying from 1 to n, equal to this side we have, okay, this side we have summation fi di, I varying from 1 to n, divided by summation fi, I varying from 1 to n, plus a summation fi, or we already have summation fi, and divided by summation fi, I varying from 1 to n. So this and this get cancelled. This is x bar, so it's equal to summation fi di divided by summation fi, I varying from 1 to n, I varying from 1 to n plus a. So we get the formula of x bar, which we use in assumed mean method, which is a plus summation fi di divided by summation fi, I varying from 1 to n and I varying from 1 to n. So this proves our property.